You are listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shamaya Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shamaya Reed.
Welcome to I Am Refocused Radio. Once again, we are here today, and today we have a true powerhouse. We have Anna-Sigga Nicolazzi. She is the host of the podcast Law and Order, Criminal Justice System Season 2. She is no stranger. I want to welcome to the show right now this morning. Say, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well, Shamaya. How about you? I hear that you're recovering from some bad power problems out there.
Man, it's okay. We turn the page and we have great guests like you that make our days better. So I appreciate you being on. As a former Brooklyn prosecutor and true crime storyteller, you have amazing experience in the courtroom. Tell us a little bit of a teaser of what people can expect in season 2.
So in season 1, we focused on the mafia, how they were brought down in New York City. And now we're focusing on terrorism, something that unfortunately we are all too familiar with, whether it's because something has happened in your city, your state, your town, or because of what we read on the news and hear that's happened. But it's that inside perspective. You know, we all remember Oklahoma City with Timothy McVeigh. Well, it's hearing from the survivors, talking about how not only what happened to them and the horror, but I look at this from the other side as the amazing community, the amazing acts of kindness that other people showed one another in the wake of horror. And we see it every day. It is the members of law enforcement that risked their lives to save others, whether it was the young children in there or the adults that were buried under rubble. You see sometimes in the worst, you see some of the best. And that is, I think, what keeps me going in this world for all these years, is to be reminded of, I do believe in more good than bad, but even though we're focusing on this threat that unfortunately impacts us all.
Having tried over 50 felony cases, you've seen the criminal justice system up close. What do you think people still misunderstand most about how justice is pursued in America?
I think that it is a system that has incredible stakes. We've seen things done right. We've seen things done wrong. I've always said, you know, even as a prosecutor, and I believe in justice, I'd rather have a guilty man or woman or person go free than to have one innocent wrongly incarcerated. And I think it's the misperception that most people don't feel that way. I think most do. But again, we are talking about hundreds of thousands, millions of people. So just like in everything, you're going to have some outliers to that. And I think it's realizing it is those individuals as opposed to the system from what I've seen from the inside. And I think it's watching it hopefully get better sometimes because people demanding that it get better, and just from the inside seeing how we can do things better. And I think that's one of the most important things for people to keep in mind. It is individuals that are in these roles. It is not just a system. It is people for the good and the bad.
You said that you love putting the pieces together of a puzzle. How does that mindset influence the way you tell stories on this series?
I think it's what makes it fun. It's like looking at the different pieces and seeing if they fit or not. And whether I was in the courtroom and having to put a lot of evidence together and hopefully show it, convince a jury beyond a reasonable doubt, or here in a podcast, it's taking lots of information about these very complex cases that took sometimes months and years and giving it to the listener in as compelling a way, you know, and usually an hour or less. Like that is the puzzle of it all. And when you hear it all come together because of all the amazing people we have working together, you know, that's the thing that makes me smile and that makes it fun.
Once again, we have true honor talking to the one and only Anna-Sigga Nicolazzi, the host of the podcast Law and Order, Criminal Justice System Season 2. My next question is, when you think about how much weight prosecutors carry of the victims' families and the community, how do you personally manage the emotional toll of cases like homicides and high-stake felonies?
So I was a homicide prosecutor for 16 of my 21 years, and I've talked about it now for many years in the media and teaching. And I think you put your head down and do what you have to do, right? And I don't think you can think about it, but of course it impacts us. And I think, you know, it used to be for me, whether it was exercise or running or just having a good laugh with friends, like that is an incredible release when you are dealing with some of the darkest of dark. There was a lot of camaraderie, I think, within the world that I worked amongst the prosecutors and officers, just to do that, like take your head out of some of the worst parts of humanity that we were faced with. But, we're all built for something. And like this for me is what I was built to do. It's what I care about. So even though there is a lot of darkness in it, I've met amazing people along the way. And I think that's a positive reminder about humanity.
And when you look at the big picture, with season 2 shining a light on terrorism cases, what do you hope listeners will walk away with or feel after each episode?
I hope that they will get a better understanding of cases that they thought they knew that have happened in present time, or things they never knew that happened, whether it was in the 70s or the 80s, which is what we talk about, which is kind of how terrorism evolved in the United States, whether it was specific groups or now you hear about the lone wolves. But I think also seeing the work that is done for all the cases we haven't heard about, because law enforcement has been able to stop them before that attack is committed. And again, even when they have, we're doing Oklahoma City, Timothy McVeigh, 168 people killed. And one of the survivors, when I think about this optimistic person who lived through some of the most terrifying circumstances and saw so many people die around her, but she just talks about this renewed lust for life that she was given by this terrible act. And I think it's the reminder of how much goodness there is around us, even in the wake of bad.
One more quick question. If you could change one thing about the way the criminal justice system communicates with the public, what would it be?
Transparency, I think, more on both sides, because I think transparency instills trust. I think when you think you are being given information, whether you like it or not, at least then hopefully you can trust in what you're hearing. And I think that builds better bonds.
Once again, talking to our guest today, Anna-Sigga Nicolazzi, the host of the podcast, Law and Order, Criminal Justice System, Season 2. Like I always want to say to you, thank you for your time.
Thank you.